Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. If anyone wants to request any type of review, video game playthrough, or let's try, or whatever, commentary, topic, reaction, random video, whatever the case may be, you can send it either directly to my PayPal, that's usually the best bet for this type of stuff, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. But you wanted me to do a commentary on Hollow Man, the 2000 film. Anyway, let's get right into it. I'm pause the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Pressing play. So we have the Columbia Pictures logo with the Toga lady. Toga, Toga. Lift up that toga. Take it off. Take it off. Light my fire. She'll light the way to lose your virginity. Columbia Pictures presents. I did not see this in the theater. It's actually been a long time since I've seen this movie. But I do remember really enjoying it. Paul Verhoeven film. Sadly, this is the last American film he's done. Elisabeth Shue, who was in Back to the Future 2 and 3. She was in Adventures of Babysitting. Kevin Bacon, of course, from Tremors, Stir of Echoes, A Few Good Men. Josh Brolin, who would later be in the Avengers films as Thanos, among many other movies. Sicario, the first one. Hollow Man. Neat way of doing the opening credits. Which is kind of the swirling of these letters. Great Grunberg. He was in this kind of... It's a very silly movie called Big Ass Spider, but I had fun with it. He's done in a few other movies as well. More of a comedic actor. William Devane from Rolling Thunder from back in the day, which I know Quentin Tarantino was a big fan of that movie. Had Tommy Lee Jones in it, where he was a war veteran and his hand gets screwed up, so he has a hook for a hand. His family gets killed. Him and Tommy Lee Jones takes revenge on the guys who did it. Yeah, Rolling Thunder from the 70s. So I don't know if he's still with us, William Devane. If so, you never hear of him. Ah, Jerry Goldsmith did the music for this. Okay. Makes sense because the music's pretty good. Mark Goldblatt edited. Mark Goldblatt, who directed The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. He helped edit, I think, Rambo 2, Predator 2. Big time editor. But he directed Dead Heat with Treat Williams, may he rest in peace, and The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Very fun movie. And of course, Jerry Goldsmith, one of my favorite composers. I would say my favorite composer for what he did for the first 3 Rambo films, Leviathan, Runaway, even films like The Mummy from 1999. Just always a great pleasure to hear his music. Air Force One. And Paul Verhoeven, I mean, quite enjoy a lot of his work. I love Total Recall. I love RoboCop. Not sure which I like more. Maybe Total Recall, but they're both great. And I really enjoyed this too, but apparently later on Paul Verhoeven had done an interview where he wasn't happy with this film. Isn't the snake is invisible? Yeah. Which... Ooh, shit. Oh, it's not a snake, it's an ape. It's an ape. Damn. Talk about starting your movie with a bang. This cute little thing gets squeezed and then bitten and killed and blood everywhere. I'm like, that's a Paul Verhoeven movie. But that's the thing, in the interview, it was a written interview, Paul Verhoeven said, anybody could have made this movie. It didn't really feel like... I guess he took this as a job because he had films like Showgirls that didn't do well. So he needed a job and he took it. So he's like, anybody could have done this movie. I don't agree, Paul Verhoeven. Not everybody would have done this movie. I mean, there's been quite a few Invisible Man movies, and for me, this is the best one. Because it's the way Paul Verhoeven went gun-ho with the sex, with the violence. he didn't shy away from it. A lot of people would have. So, and I love the idea that it becomes a slasher movie, an Invisible Man slasher movie, because I'm sure there was a couple back in the day, the Invisible, was it Strangler or the Invisible Maniac, but like a bloody 80s type of slasher, not really that often. So I love that aspect. It's got a good cast. It's got great. That's the thing. You have this great cast and special effects, A-list special effects, and then to have also this slasher film mentality. I love that. Not everybody would have done that. They would have shied away from it or pussied out on it. I'm glad it didn't though. But the film wasn't that. It might have made a little some money overseas, but it had a pretty decent sized budget. I think in America it didn't really make what they wanted. And again, this is the last American film he did. I think he's done a couple films overseas, but I guess he just doesn't feel the need or desire to do any American films again, which is a shame. It's a damn crying shame. Because, any guy that does RoboCop, Total Recall, and this movie, and Starship Troopers I like. Basic Instinct I remember not minding. Showgirls is a catastrophe. It may be an interesting catastrophe, but it's a horrible movie. What's funny, I read up that apparently Kevin Bacon hated Twinkies. He hated the taste of Twinkies. So it's funny that, his character has to eat them. So it's like he's got just the idea Kevin Bacon has to eat this stuff that he just hates. Which I don't blame him. I'm not a big Twinkie guy either. I remember for like 15 minutes there was all the Twinkies, they're going to go out of business, they're not going to make them anymore, and there's this big controversy of how dare they take away Twinkies. But I guess it helped because they came back, and so far there hasn't been any word to take them off the market. Even made me try them again because it's been forever. But then I realized I could eat Twinkies if I need to, or if it's there. But it's like eating fat. I mean, that's what it is fat. But it's like I eat a lot of fat. I'm like, I don't know. It's like I can feel myself get fat just from eating the Twinkie, so I'm like, nah. So Kevin Bacon has cracked the code. And of course, I did watch the sequel, Hollow Man 2, with Christian Slater, direct-to-video film. Was not a fan of the movie. Apparently, the idea, the script for that film, was what this film was originally going to be about. So, whether it be the military is going to be more involved, and I'm glad they went this route. I thought Kevin Bacon did a good job because, in this early stages, he's got the charisma going on. He seems like a likable guy. Because, I like Kevin Bacon. Yeah, Footloose. Again, I love the first Tremors movie. And the second one, but Kevin Bacon's in the first. Stir of Echoes is a really good one. Big fan of Kevin Bacon, so... He has that charisma to him. But then, so he could play a nice guy well, but when it turns, he play evil very well too. I know Tim Bacon did this role because he thought it'd be easy. He's like, well, I'm invisible, so I'll be doing a voice most of the time. He didn't realize, though, that with all the big special effects sequences, he'd have to put the suit on, and green suit, and all these dots, and he had to... It was a lot tougher. I think it became, like, the toughest job he ever had. I like these little infrared goggles, too. Which, of course, I mean, there are infrared goggles in real life. But I like the way this is done because it makes it easier for people to wear. Because a lot of times they're kind of much more bulgy. Maybe not nowadays, I don't know, but... Okay, I would not want to be in there. Ooh, I like that. The way the blood came out of the hand, I thought that looked pretty neat. See, I think the way they did the invisibility stuff is exhilarating in this. And like, there's a lot of gung-ho attitude to this. When I say that, I mean, it doesn't shy away from the R rating. Of course, this showcases the competition between the two, which will be showcased later. And of course, it shows that Josh Brolin is not really the expert in terms of aiming. I'm sure that will come into play much later on. So now we're developing this little bit of animosity between the two, which will again be showcased quite a bit later. But I mean, this was a fun era for movies. It really was, because from the late 90s, early 2000s, we were capable of having these big budget, they're B movies, but you get the cast and the budget of an A-list caliber, and so they become entertaining. They may be trashy, or they may be whatever the critics want to throw out, but man, they're fun. Deep Blue Sea in 1999. Yeah, it's a B movie. It's about sharks that we genetically engineer because we won't get stuff from their brains. And but you got Samuel Jackson, even LL Cool J. You get Thomas Jane. Before he did stuff like The Punisher, so he was a little bit unknown at that time. So for most people, be like, well, that's not an A-list cast. Well, to me, it is compared to other low budget B movies. I say with this, like, I mean, the Invisible Man genre, I enjoy the original from the 40s. There's great Grunberg. Like, you're not God. I am. So that's the thing, like, you see there's a little bit of a sinister edge to Bacon's character, but because of ethical morality, he's able to hold it in, and so it becomes smarmy and not dangerous. Alright, we got some Kool-Aid. Hey, Kool-Aid. But I was talking about the Invisible Man movies. The original one I like from the 40s. That's actually one of my... Of that era of horror films, I do like Dracula and Frankenstein, which were more in the 30s. But the 30s, 40s era, Invisible Man would be up there for me. And not only let's see, I didn't see some of the sequels that came out with it, but Abbott Costello, The Invisible Man, I thought was fun. In the 80s, try to think what was in the 80s for Invisible Man movies. I think there was one with Steve Grunberg, but I never saw it. Never saw that one. But like, this stuff is just still looks cool today. I mean, it's from the year 2000. I still think it looks cool. The serum, the way it's going through the whole body, because then we get to see more and more of this figure. So we did this, yeah. It's still cool to see, even by 2000 standards. We see the heart, we see more and more of the veins. We see more and more of the reveal, the inner parts of this thing. Of course, the cardiac arrest. Yeah, because it leads into the animals don't know what's going on, so they can't understand it. Thus, they can't call themselves as much as perhaps a human could, which is why Kevin Bacon will kind of push for more human tests, aka himself. It's not every day you see the muscles, the tendons, the arteries of this gorilla, of any gorilla or anything, so... But the Invisible Man films, I remember Steve Grunberg was in a comedic one, which I never saw. It was a 3D movie, The Man Who Wasn't There or something. I forget what it was called. Oh, gorilla's living. There you go. But yeah, the early 80s. And then, again, there's probably like The Invisible Maniac, which I've heard of, but I didn't see. I'm sure there were others, but the next one I remember is Memoirs of Invisible Man in the early 90s, the John Carpenter film, which doesn't feel like a John Carpenter film because I know Carpenter did not like making that film. He had a lot of beef with Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase wanted to be the top dog of that movie. Chevy Chase... There's many stories of him being difficult on a variety of projects. That was him wanting to be more serious. So, the studio wanted more of a comedy because it's Chevy Chase. But Chevy Chase wanted more of a action, thriller, adventure, because he wanted to be taken more seriously. And that's why he wanted John Carpenter, because he didn't want a comedic director. So we have the gorilla done, practical effects. I think the guy in the suit is Tom Woodruff Jr., who played the Xenomorph in a couple of the Alien films, Alien 3, and maybe AVP. Like I said, Kevin Bacon, you see that bit of sinister edge to him. bit of like a James Spader flavor to him, as I put it. Who's another guy that could have played this role? Kevin Bacon does a great job. I'm glad he got the role. But I'm just saying, if he didn't take the role, I think James Spader would have been just as good of a choice. But yeah, Memoirs of Invisible Man, I'm not a fan of that movie. And even later on and after this movie, like I said, Halloween 2 went direct to video. Wasn't that good. You know what? I liked the new Invisible Man film. A lot of people didn't like it. It made a lot of money. Got a lot of good critical reviews. I liked it. It was kind of take one of those 90s thrillers, Sleeping with the Enemy with Julie Roberts, or those Unlawful Entry, like those type of movies, and add the Invisible Man motif to it. I liked it. I thought it was a different way of doing that plot. But a lot of people don't like that film, which I was surprised by, but I liked it. The guy that hates everything. How can you like this movie that's critically acclaimed and got a lot of box office? Well, I mean, I don't hate everything. God forbid. Like I say, this is my favorite Invisible Man film. It hits all the boxes. I like the cast. Elisabeth Shue, beautiful lady. First time I saw her, was it Back to the Future 2 or Adventures in Babysitting? It technically might have been Back to the Future Part 2, because she replaced the girlfriend character from Michael J. Fox. I forget the actress's name in the first one. And then Elizabeth Shue was in Part 2, Part 3. But I probably remember the more in Adventures of Babysitting because she was the star of it. And that's the film I grew up with, and I do still enjoy. With Tief Trudian, the little girl who loves Thor. They meet the mechanic Vincent D'Onofrio, who seems like Thor. Watch, he's gonna bite you. I like the story by Jared Gozer that has this kind of creepy vibe to it. The almost ethereal at times. Of course, the military wants this done for certain purposes. God. Like you see on the film some of the past tests. Look at that. A gorilla with half his face kind of. Ooh, shit. You see the whole body. Like his guts are. Damn, like. Half his body was gone. Rib cages showing. That was, I think, a practical effect. See, that's why I disagree with Paul Verhoeven when he says everybody can do this, or anybody could have made that movie. I don't agree with that. I do not agree that anybody could have done this movie. I do not agree that anybody could have done this film. Because they wouldn't have had the guts or the fucking attitude like Paul Verhoeven does. So I guess for him, like he looks at Total Recall and RoboCop as a bit like deeper movie. I don't know. I really don't understand Paul's reasons. I know this is the film was not as beloved compared to those two. Like RoboCop Total Recall held much more at a higher precipice than this movie. And I like those two more than this, but I do like this film quite a bit. You don't make history by following the rules, you make it by seizing the moment. So you have Tim Bacon, who has the hots for Elisabeth Shue. You have Josh Brolin, who's with Elisabeth Shue. You have Tim Bacon being this competitive nature with Josh Brolin. Just Josh is with Elisabeth Shue, and Tim Bacon wants to be with Shue. And it's one of those things that I always like, oh yeah, I forget Josh Brolin is in this. Because this is before he kind of got a second resurgence, again, with being Thanos in the Avengers films. He was in Cable and Deadpool 2. He was in some flops like Jonah Hex, among other movies. I guess Sicario, the first one. So, sorry, I'm just watching the film. Didn't do it. Because by this point, Josh Brolin had done, The Goonies. He was in a film Thrashing. If you're wondering why you hear typing, what was that typing? First, I got like really southern. Not typing. Is because I wanted to look up some info. Since the screenplay's from Andrew Marlowe, who he worked on Air Force One and End of Days. Two more films I enjoy. Now, granted, maybe, I don't know, those films were rewritten and stuff, but I do like those films. Tim Dickens, the one who is not approving of Tim Bacon testing on the animals. She's the one in that committee against testing. We shouldn't be going forward. I'd be cautious of anybody who was a guinea pig. She was in Mercury Rising with Bruce Willis. She was in The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock. Which I know that got in a big controversy, which that would take a long time to get into. Josh Brolin. I want to see what he was doing before this. Mimic. Oh, okay, I've heard this joke before, yeah. Not just in this movie, but other times. Superman sees Wonder Woman, he humps at super speed, and the Invisible Man says, "My ass hurts." So, again, even before this movie, I've heard that joke before. That is kind of funny, I gotta admit. Unless like maybe I heard a joke similar to that. And maybe it wasn't the Invisible Man, it was someone else. But I know I heard a joke similar to that before the film. So yeah, Josh Brolin was in Mimic. I forgot he was in that. The Mod Squad. I completely forgot that movie existed. That's right. Night Watch with Ewan McGregor. After this, did a lot of films that no one would know much about. Coastlines, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Into the Blue, The Dead Girl. So really, I guess 2007, No Country for Old Men really helped get him back up. Because then he did that film Milk, Jonah Hex, True Grit, Men in Black 3, Sin City 2, Thanos, Sicario. He's in the Dune films. Well, he wrote that weird ass poem. I don't know what the hell that deal was with the poem. Pretty much talking about how hot the trot, the lead star Timothy Chalamet, whatever the hell his name is, how hot he was. I don't know what the hell his problem is, Josh Brolin. Do people in Hollywood just get brainwashed and just, I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking at the info. It just goes a lot into the special effects. Which makes sense. They were nominated for a cameo for Best Visual Effects, but they lost to Gladiator. I don't know, man. I mean, I would give it to this film more than Gladiator. I think the effects in this film seem much more impressive, but that's just me. So the film made 73 million in North America, made 190 million worldwide on a $95 million budget. It was his biggest hit since Basic Instinct. But I don't know if that'd be considered a hit if he had a $95 million budget, but you made 73 million in the US. Usually they say you have to make double. So if you make double that, that's, well, double 95, that's 190. So I wouldn't even know if that's breaking even. Or the ladies, you'd have Tim Baton's ass. See, this is what Paul Verhoeven said. I decided after Hollow Man, this is the first movie that I made that I thought I should not have made. It made money and this and that, but it's really not me anymore. I think many other people could have done that. I don't think many people could have done RoboCop that way or Starship Troopers. But Hollow Man, I thought there might have been 20 directors of Hollywood who could have done that. I felt depressed by myself after 2002. But I don't agree, dude. Not everybody would have done the film like this. The way this is done. I don't agree with that. Highly disagree with that, man. They would not, because there's been a lot of Invisible Man movies. They were not like this. Like they wouldn't have gone like. I know this the effects guys that determine it, but the director has a say in effects. At least back then. At least make it look a little bit like this way, a little bit more like that way. You see the muscles, the tendons, then you'll see the veins, the bones, the skeleton. And the fact, they make you such a painful experience. Definitely very different from how they did back in the day. That's with modern technology. I just want to look up Invisible Man movies. Yep, he is the first. So there you go. So yeah, this is now a whole list, but Lee Winnell's Invisible Man 2020. The fact that they made like a stalker movie, I didn't mind that idea. The first Invisible Man was 1933. I don't know why I kept thinking it was 40s, but it was 1933. Okay, so I'm sorry, I was wrong in that. Like I said, I'm not the best with years. I guess I think of like the sequels were in the 40s, but that was 1933. The Invisible Man. Okay. So 1990, there was The Invisible Maniac. There's The Invisible Kid in 1988. The Invisible Mom in 1996. The Invisible Dad in 1997. The Invisible Mom 2 in 1999. Okay. Sorry, now I'm just watching the film again now where you get the sort of introduction of him being invisible. So we've showcased so far this guy has a bit of a god complex. He has a smarmy attitude. He thinks he's better than other people in a way. Like went against the rules. He lied to the Pentagon. Again, him saying it's my project, it's this and that. Very egotistical, self-centered. Even if he says about the team, it's really more about himself. So now that you take the ability to be able to not be found out, that you do anything you want and get away with it. Think about back to the day, people go, well, what would you do if you were invisible? Or, like, what's your power? What superpowers do you want? People say, of course, Superman. It's like every power. But a lot of times kids would say, or maybe not just adults would say, well, invisible. Oh, I could peek into the ladies' locker room and see them shower. or going somewhere and steal something. A lot of times it's like you want the power, but you want the power because you want to do unethical things that spring to mind. Oh, maybe go to a bank and take one bag of money and there you go, or one thing of money and be set for life, or you could be anywhere, you do anything, and no one would know, no one would find out, you get away with it. But of course, I mean that's why we showed at the very beginning. I mean, that gorilla getting the rat and killing it and eating it, and you see this blood on its mouth. That rat, I'm sure, it had to eat, and that's how they eat. But at the same time, it's a bit more angry, a bit more violent tendency. And here, it's like, oh, it's lurid. It's so sleazy. But I mean, if you have this person who's, not really the most ethical guy, but now he's got this power, he would be doing stuff like this. There's a titty, there's a nipple, the buns are undone. See, I'm glad she actually did tell someone the possibility. Because a lot of times people are like, I'm not going to say anything. But here, at least they have an inkling that something might be going on. They're not 100% sure, they're not 100% positive, but they have an inkling. Because how many times it'd be like, they don't say anything, they keep it quiet. Why are you doing that? No, it's like, they mention it, and now Josh Brolin has a bit of doubts on this, and even the simplest things like this, with all this stuff. And Tia Bacon just knows how to play that sinister edge very well. Does a really good job with that, and it's believable. Not everybody can play a villain. And you have to play both. You have to play, he's got a bit of charisma, so you see why he's a leader of a group, even if they're not the biggest fan of his, but at the same time, you gotta make that twist, make that turn of this edge to it, and still be believable. And that's, I did, Kevin Bacon was a good choice for this. I didn't, James Spader or Kevin Bacon. And now you'd have this paranoia of like who. Now just let the paranoia begin. Why would you not have a stall for the toilet? I don't understand that. You have this big facility, you can't afford to build a fucking thing to hide you from the toilet? That could afford that? Up, he was there the whole time. So there you go. I like the little indentation in the chair. Nice little detail. Indentations in the chair as he rises up and they inflate it in. Ah, Coca-Cola. Make sure you bring your Coca-Cola with you. That's why. At least it's not like every single time, it's moved so it's facing towards it. At least sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like this. So at least it doesn't seem as apparent a product placement. In fact, a lot of times it's like this. So it's product placement, but not like. Because that's right, they used to be together. Kevin Bacon and Elisabeth Shue's characters, they used to be an item together. Oh, by the way, that's another thing. Remember, I keep harping up on this so many times in commentaries. How was it the past 5 or so years we finally got strong female characters? Fuck do you think Elisabeth Shue is in this? Again, it's like you took an 80s slasher film and you brought it to this high budget technology. Like slasher film, I mean, granted, there'd be more body count in the first half, perhaps, but usually them, for the most part, it's the third half. But they have some maybe not exactly like that, but it becomes that, which people get mad and pissy about it, but I like it. Oh yeah, it doesn't work right. That's why he's gonna be invisible longer. But it's funny, he would have gotten back to being visible. Think about that. If this had worked right, if this has worked correctly, if this has worked like it was supposed to, I just all this would have been fine. Ooh. Damn. Again, I'm just still marvel at the special effects. They still pretty damn decent looking for what that needed to be done. At this point, I'm sure they would have been glad to just let him die if they knew what was going to happen later on. It's like, yeah, let him die. Does everybody else... All these other people would have lived. That's the irony of it all, isn't it? These people save his life. Later on, he kills most of them. Right, yeah, Tim Dickens and Grade, that guy. They save his life. He kills him later. That's what you did for saving his life, I guess. That's your reward. Oh yeah, the mask. That's right. Sort of a take on the bandages in the original Invisible Man. This kind of a almost like a mold, kind of like what special effects guys would use, made to mold on someone's face in order to do these practical suits and stuff on them. Don't let it get too much up his nose. I would have had where you put something on his nose so the stuff doesn't go in his nose. Like here, you put it in your nose. That's where you get to the Hollow Man. Which, I mean, the title fits. Are there? There's no on his nose, no holes in his nose. So he's got to always be a mouth breather now. Genius is getting from A to D without B and C. I can't do it. I need the B and C. So there you go. So it's been 3 days. So after that, it's been another 7 days. Another additional 7 days of testing and all this other stuff. So definitely affected his state of mind. Hey, you're the one that wanted this in the first place. You're the one to blame. Like, you're the one that wanted this damn test in the first place. The big gulp. There you go. Yeah, they don't shy away from the nudity among other stuff with this. Well, at least this guy immediately calls. Sure took you a damn tranquilizer and tranked his ass, or locked the door. How did he get out? Why didn't you lock the damn door? Should have had his damn door locked. What the hell? It's really different not having a damn door that locks. Now I'm trying to think if they, at this point, have determined that it affects your mind, and that's part of the reason this is happening. Or am I just alluding to that because other interpretations of the Invisible Man, they also showcase that the drug kind of affects your mind to a certain psychosis. Maybe I'm just assuming that because of other Invisible Man stories that have incorporated that into it. He scares the hell out of the kids, yeah. Oh, weird? You want to see weird? There's weird. That's why you should shut up, kids. So what if he could be there? Kiss anyway. You guys are together. Oh, he's supposed to... Is he not supposed to know they're together? And he don't know that yet? Oh yeah, we did see him check out that neighbor earlier in the film. Of course, here's the Twinkies that Kevin Bacon does not like. Of course, if he's so damn smart, why don't he look into trying to get this fixed? Unless he doesn't want to. There's the neighbor again. As he says, who would know? And there's a little bit of... YouTube don't like saying this word, so I'll say drape. Without the D. Well, I just with a D, but not the D you're thinking of. Because he could do that, he could get away with it, and as he puts it, don't even think about it. Who would know? Who's gonna know? Because what's the lady going to say? A ghost? Well, aren't there... There are places that say, a ghost did this to me. The entity. It was the entity. I believe this is Rona Mitra. I think, from what I understand, she was the body used for Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Back to the day of those video games for PlayStation 1. The way she looks in those video games is because they used her likeness. Her body. Not her voice. I don't think it was her voice. I don't think so. But it was her body. That's why you look at her, you see that she's looks like, you know, Lara Croft. I think I want to see Laura, but it's Lara. Lara. But yeah, she's the body, the likeness for the original video game of Tomb Raider. I know she did a couple films. I think she was a Beowulf with Christopher Lambert. Not the best actress, but beautiful looking lady. Nowadays this scene would not fly, but at the same time it's not supposed to be a fun scene. And it's not like it's I spit on your grave. You know, in those type of movies in the 70s and 80s that really went buck wild with the draping. I know, well, you can't just say the word. Again, YouTube don't like it for some reason, even though it sadly is the thing that happens. Like I said, Paul Verhoeven, he doesn't shy away from the nudity. Look at that. He does not shy away from the nudity, the titillation. Not every director would do that. I didn't. So Paul Verhoeven. Oh, it's a beautiful lady. But what happens is horrific because you gotta show that this guy does something that's way over the line to show much more of the danger. Because if he's capable of doing this, then of course he's going to be capable of murder. Because what's to stop him if he's able to do this? What else could he be capable of? I don't mind the musical score here either by Jerry Goldsmith, which I think worked with Paul Verhoeven in Total Recall. Because I think Basil Polidorus did RoboCop. I think. But yeah, Jerry Goldsmith worked with him on Total Recall. So the Starship Troopers, I don't think that was Jerry Goldsmith. I forget who did the Starship Troopers score. Can't remember. You see the bit of the bruise on her arms, on her buttocks. Nice little detail there to show that something did happen. See, it cut away, so it was tasteful enough, but you get the idea. And she's crying, she's hurt. Sure brought you infrared goggles. You would think, if you'd have those in your pocket the whole damn time. I would. You'd be able to do this the whole time. I wouldn't need to wear them. I remember this was a part of the trailer that really showcased the special effects right here. It's amazing what you can do when you don't have to look at yourself in the mirror. I think that was the line. Elisabeth Shue's that's backing off. She's not backing off, and Josh Brolin's going to stand by her. Yeah, Josh is right. You did volunteer for this. Yeah, I'm sorry for the quiet spots. I'm just getting to the film, like I did back in the day. Well, that right there, they say it's starting to affect his mind. He's been on longer than the animals. So I'm listening to the dialogue. Even that little detail, like having the fly, and you see it buzzing around because it's in his hand. Like they didn't have to do that, but a nice little detail. Yep, there you go. Again, how he put I stared her a little. Of course, Grunberg doesn't realize what kind of staring it was. So there you go. Idea, what's that girl gonna do? Call the cops and go, and a ghost did this to me? I believe this is a nightmare scene. I believe. Great, I've said stuff like that. I've been wrong before, but I think this is a nightmare scene. Which, I mean, he did forcefully kiss her among stuff, so. And I mean, credit to Elisabeth Shue for willing to do stuff like this. There you go, yep. But I guess, you think of Paul Verhoeven, you think of, like, the way Sharon Stone was used in Total Recall and Basic Instinct, among other stuff. Yeah, Showgirls. Definitely a terrible film. Just on a fail again. Close but no cigar, right? At the tipping point. There you go. See, I knew it. Close but no cigar. Because if they did, they could boom right then, cure them, everything be fine and dandy. And we got 50 minutes left of the movie. Hey, Josh Brolin's trying, man. He's trying to get it done. Keep forgetting the guy's my name, Matt. I don't know why Elisabeth Shue people are so surprised. You guys have even admitted to yourself his mind's being affected by this. Like I said, everybody knows how to be that. And in a way, this kind of did what The Invisible Man later did in 2020. Because you have the girl, and then her ex-boyfriend, stalker type, sexual type. Graham, much more of a, again, effects heavy, bloody leader, the slasher film quality to it. which he did in the 2020 film. It did much more of a slow burn, and sleeping with the enemy type of mentality. But just because that was more, quote, subtle, that was looked upon much more greatly by critics, while this is much more of, quote, the trashy bit of business. But again, I enjoy that bit of business about. So, what's this about? Well, I mean, he is supposed to be a genius, so he's supposed to know how some of this stuff's going to work. And better be glad that this guy's not paying attention too much to the video. So he did that little test to see if he bought into it. Yep, he did. Granted, I don't know how that works where, okay, it's obviously like some delay, but when it starts recording, wouldn't it go into him getting up and getting back again, up and back again? Maybe so. Maybe just be like, yeah, I'd get up and get back again, Have to walk around, can't sleep well. But then wouldn't someone be talking to him, and when he doesn't answer, then they'll notice something's up, but... And how long is the delay? Is it like 30 seconds? Is it... I keep saying delay, but I mean the repetitious... Whatever. I'm putting too much thought into it. Fuck it. This is where he's going to find out that she's with Josh Brolin, and he's going to be pissed about it. He's pissed, even though it's not your girl. They don't, motherfucker. Because that was that paranoia. This guy's trying to replace me. He got the girl. He's going to try to kill me. He's riding my coattails. He's going to take credits. Yeah, that's the problem. Oh, this is when he kills the dog. That's right. There he goes. I'm not good enough for her. We saw him petting the dog and the dog licking his hand earlier. So now, again, we gotta elevate the... He was able to do that to a lady. Now he's willing to kill this sweet little puppy. Who's that? Look at this. So we go off screen, give me the fake one, and look at that. Got all the blood splatter. Interesting choice, obviously because they're invisible, to shoot all in thermal imaging. And you really get like the graphic detail of it with the blood splatter in thermal imaging. Try to do that to the gorilla, motherfucker. Yeah, that dog. Yeah, I forgot how vicious that was. But again, you need to elevate what going to result in him killing everybody. But he did that to a woman. He killed a dog. You gotta have this elevation, not just go out of the blue. You have this build up. And I think this ruffled people's feathers. You did stuff you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to have someone get draped. You're not supposed to kill a dog. You're not supposed to have titillation and nudity. You're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be a slasher film at the end. But it did, and if this has a cult following, that's why. And that's what I love about it. The actors do their jobs well. Jared Goldsmith, great capable composer. See that right there, that kind of thing with her using the covers, that's something that would be done in the 2020 Invisible Man movie. But again, that gets the leniency because it didn't have all the B movie qualities this film had. But that's what makes this film stick out and stand out, and for the better, in my opinion. Just gives those visceral reactions. Ooh, shit! You're like, oh, it makes the Kevin Bacon's character more dangerous, showcase more of his psychosis. Yep, now they know. Again, she's smart. Showcase that Elisabeth Shue's character is smart. Knows what she's doing. Again, strong female character that people go, oh, does it existed quite a while. I didn't have a damn facility, a door that has a lock. Like, damn, how tough is that? Have something that has a damn lock on it. You save a lot of trouble. You save a lot of headache. Get some damn locks. Well, Elizabeth and Josh are doing the right thing. They find out about it, and they're going to do the right thing. So there you go. I mean, those two do the right thing. They don't hold on to a secret. They're not being selfish. They know it's going to ruin their careers. It's going to ruin everything. They don't tell William Devane, and there you go. So once again, you have characters that, again, they know they screwed up their careers, but it needs to be told, and that was the right time to do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they should have done it earlier, but at the same time, they're not so stupid and unselfish that they decide to hold it on indefinitely. So, of course, Kevin Bacon finds out about this and then decides to take care of business. It's how William Devane doesn't have a whole lot to do in this film. It's great to see him in there, though. With his big old pipe. Does he even smoke pipes anymore? It's not something you really see nowadays in movies. People with a pipe like that. They pop by the Sailor Man. Yeah, this is where he's going to be pushed into the pool and drowned. I think drowned. Oh yeah, because you see the reveal here. Here's Johnny. There you go. They need special effects to showcase the Invisible Man in the water. To her, it just looks like he's drowning. Like, to her, she'll just say, yeah, he drowned. Something happened, he drowned. No murder, no foul play. It reminds me a bit also of, there's a episode of the X-Files called, was it The Walk? Or, I can't remember what it was called, but it was about a guy that had no arms and no legs. And he used astral projection to get revenge on the people he deemed he needed to get revenge upon. So there's a bit where a woman's in a pool and you see this figure like that come out of the pool, grab the person, pull them back in. So and I think the rest of this movie is in this facility. Yeah, pretty much the last half hour becomes this trapped in this facility slasher film where a lot of these deers get picked off one by one. So definitely my favorite part of the movie. So now they're all going to be trapped. Communications. He's been killed. He drowned. Oh, there you go. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I had to get something done. I'm paused at 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 39 seconds as the shit is ready to hit the fan. On pause now. Of course, the phones are cut off. They have to be cut off. Absolutely cut off. They're not going to be able to sleep either. It's been changed. Don't. Are there 6 or 7 of them? Except one. Yep. So about 6 of them. So let's take them out one by one. There's the first one. Just have just have the goggles on the whole time. Can't let you turn me in. Again, that ethereal music from Jerry Goldsmith really works with this. Yep. Yep, there's the line from the trailer. At this point, I would just put the goggles on and leave them on. Just put the goggles on and leave them on. I guess it's like, well, it'll look ridiculous. We gotta see our full face. But I mean, if you're looking for an Invisible Man, you would have the goggles on the whole damn time. Just put the strap on. But it's like, well, if we look like Ghostbusters. Well, I mean, oh, there's gonna be your dead body. Yep, there you go. And it has begun. Nah, she ain't gonna make it. Good point. You do blame each other later. Again, blame each other later. See, that's the problem. Just stay there and wait. I mean, stay there and wait. He's going to have to food or whatever eventually. Stick together and don't hunt him down. That never works out well. Don't split up. It reminds me of those Alien ripoffs back to the day where you had this one underground facility, like the Terror Within, and instead of an alien or a creature, it's this. Never split up. Never split up. They gotta make the dumb decisions. You never split up. Why just two of you? Don't split up. Never split up, man. And never split up. Yeah, things ain't gonna work out. Yeah, and that's what you did. You never split up. You never search for the guy. Just stay hidden. Just stay hidden and be safe in numbers. It's always safe in numbers. Again, because he can't shoot. We've established he can't shoot. We've established he can't shoot for shit. Ooh. Nice head hit. Ooh. That's a nice hit. Nice hit on his head. Up there he goes. Put on your glasses. Put on your goggles. Put on your damn goggles. So many times, like, put on your fucking goggles. Where? Put on your goggles. There you go. The one that's moving. The hair is same. So I guess. So yeah, they're trying to make sure that you don't wear these goggles as much because it'll be deemed maybe too silly, ridiculous looking. But I like this action thriller element, this horror element, with some really good special effects. I do like that aspect of it. Ooh. Well, there you go. Of course, they split up. You never want to split up. Yeah, that guy ain't gonna make it. He's trying to be okay. Yeah, sure he is. Need blood. That guy looks fucking dead anyway, man. Is that... He ain't gonna make it. I'm pretty damn sure he ain't gonna make it. Because they went for that guy. So I guess that's really the only issue I have so far is, of course, you gotta have characters make some dumb decisions in order to, I guess, have the slasher element play more into it. There are times they could just put the goggles on and keep them on. Like, what, you don't bring all that blood to the guy in the corridor and what, pump it directly into him? I mean, lift his body and bring him back to safety. But I do like this idea of using the blood to see the footsteps. I think she throws it again and the blood splatters him, which a nice visual. Yeah, that's a cool visual. I think it breaks her neck, right? Yeah, right here. Yep. I don't know why those neck crack sound effects always get me. I don't know what it is. It just something about those neck crack sounds always get me for some reason. Like, eh. Yeah, that guy ain't gonna make it. He's dying now. But I said I do like the blood scene, him being covered in blood. The fire extinguisher revealing him all that stuff. Some nice uses of the special effects and visibility portions. Show a bit of creativity. because the body's been dragged away. Gonna say paint the walls red, but in this case the floors. She didn't make it. Ooh, impaled. I did like a slasher film. Impaled right then and there. Ooh, right in the side. Damn. I know they're going to become more Elisabeth Shue's movie. I'm glad Josh Brolin's character doesn't die. I think I remember wishing he could have had more to do to stop. But I think he does come into play later on in a important moment. Ooh. Good makeup effects there. Very nice makeup effects. Well, thank God for that. Didn't hit any organs. Duct tape, sure. Hey, I guess they did in the Evil Dead remake. I guess, I mean, what else you don't use? You gotta use something. So why not duct tape? I mean, I guess if it works, it works. Again, they did in the Evil Dead remake and people were fine with that. But I remember that, I see like they use duct tape for everything. Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. It's getting colder. Oh yeah, you're supposed to assume he dies, but then he doesn't. So he'll come back later on. But you know, a strong female lady. It wasn't just recent times. Had them in the 70s, Pam Grier. Had them in the 80s, Sigourney Weaver, Ripley, Linda Hamilton, Terminator. Had people like Cynthia Rothrock, Gina Davis, Long Kiss Goodnight. Yeah, all the slasher ones. Amy Steele, Heather Langenkamp, Lisa Wilcox, Ashley Lawrence. And then you have Elisabeth Shue in this. I guess critics were probably pissed. Like, there's no undercurrent themes of mortality and the sexual underpinnings of abuse of boyfriends and whatever. Where's all the undercurrents? Interesting detail that the tears froze like that. That'd be bad if a tear freezes that quickly. Damn. If it's that cold that a tear freezes that quickly, you wouldn't be able to touch that handle. You'd be like stuck to your hand, like you would think. Like that's metal. You think it'd be stick to your hand? Like, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You tell me. If not, then I'm wrong. If so, then okay, it's a little nitpick. Either way, I enjoy the, like I said, the action horror. I know people do, oh, you like action? Yeah, I do like action. My favorite genre. Fuck it. I do. Just for the most part, I watch films for escapism and entertainment. People want to snub their noses at it when they feel the same way. Hey, the show that she's smart too. There you go. Not just Kevin Bacon's character. He wants to blow up the lab in order to hide all the evidence. Hey, show some smarts, absolutely. Trying to figure what the hell she's doing now. Oh, fire. Maybe fire to heat them up. This more of explosives is going to showcase. Oh, the fire extinguisher, to warm them up. Makes sense. Hey, a little bit of flamethrower, why not? Did a bit of flamethrower action. A little bit of shoot with a flamethrower. Good times for me. Break keyboards just like people streaming video games. They break their keyboards. A little bit of shoe has a surprise for you. Surprise, motherfucker. Flamethrower his ass. Nice slide there. Flamethrower his ass some more. There you go. The roof is on fire. Great job on the stomp, man. There you go. Burn the motherfucker. Burn him. That's pretty good. I mean, it's a real fire, but then you have the special effects, invisibility. Keep flamethrowing his ass and ripping these pieces off. Damn it. Yeah, burnt to shit. And just like a slasher villain, he can't stay dead. Oh, hey, why not? You'll be able to see him this time. Again, it has a bit of that Ellen Ripley theme to her, man. That's a good thing. Ooh. It did the open slap, too. Ooh, right in the head. Damn. I think that's where Josh Brolin comes into play. There you go. Ooh, right in the head. Don't throw it down. Never throw your weapon down. Just stab the motherfucker. Never throw the damn shit down. Especially right by the bad guy. You never do that. Never, never, never. But it did result in that. A little bit of Steven Tito using his momentum. Now take the thing and stab him in his head. Just stab it right in his fucking forehead. Take the thing and stab in his forehead. But they never do. Again, just take the thing and stab in his forehead. Again, that would be my only nitpick is when it gets to the third act, it's people doing not the best decisions in order to get to the next set piece. Because I'm enjoying the rest of the movie and I like the characters and the effects and all the stuff, I'll be more lenient on it than I would in other movies. But if you're not, I can't blame you for it. I still have a lot of fun with it. It's not a lot of things. You don't split up. Double tap, triple tap the person. take the thing, stab the person in the head. Damn, that's a good explosion. Massive explosion, too. Damn. Pyrotechnist had a field day with this. I appreciate it, though, because nowadays this would be... It would all be CGI. Now, I don't know if this is like miniature work. It could be miniature work. I like that. Looks pretty cool. There's a tad CG in here, yeah, but not overwhelming to every millisecond. Oh boy. Elevator to hell going up this time. Ooh. Damn. Why did... Of course it is. Yeah, and just when you think you're out of the fire, brings you right back in. Look at that. There's a lot of practical work into this scene too, which I like. Pretty damn cool looking. If it's cool looking, if it's entertaining, even if it's not the most realistic, I could forgive it. Yeah, squeeze through. We know Tim Baker's not dead. Well, I know because I've seen this movie, but... How the hell Kevin Bacon got there, I don't know. I guess he got in the elevator and then rode it up and down, I guess. Dan, you can't have the villain die yet. Kick him in the face. Ooh. But Josh Brolin definitely has quite a bit to climb down to try to get to her. He's trying, he's trying. That guy deserves a good few punches in the face. Damn, that's still pretty far away. Bite his fucking nose off. Or bite his lip off. Rip some of those veins. That would work too. That would work too. Sayonara, motherfucker. There you go. That would work too. I'm sure for Elisabeth Shue, it's like I get to be an action hero, which I don't know if she's ever gotten to do again, I guess. Was she in Piranha 3D? If so, that's maybe the other time closest to being this type of character. I think she was in Piranha 3D, I think. Yeah, it was Elisabeth Shue. But she had a lot more to do in this one than that one. There you go. And there you go. As Roger Corman would say, when the monster's dead, the movie's over. So it doesn't waste time. They get out, it's over, and there you go. And then when the Tom Woodruff Jr. was the gorilla. When the monster's dead, the movie's over. There you go. And they don't waste much time with that. See, this music by Jared Goldsmith, I like that. Do 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 do. I keep using the more ethereal type of feel, yeah. Sound. I do like that. And that's Hollow Man. Yeah, I still enjoy this film. I think it's Paul Verhoeven's most underrated movie. I do. Total Recall, I would say, is my favorite. Then RoboCop is very close. This is my third favorite Paul Verhoeven film. I like Starship Troopers, among other stuff, but this is definitely my third favorite. It's, I think a lot of the special effects hold up fairly well, especially considering it came out in 2000. I think Kevin Bacon does a great job in the sinister edge that he gives to the character. Elisabeth Shue, Josh Brolin work well together. It's a very slick production. Great explosions. You get a bit of gore in there. Someone getting impaled. Nice hit when the guy lands. His head hits the thing. Blood splatter. It doesn't sugarcoat things. It's definitely an R rating. Deservedly so. Again, the only issues is in the third act. You have characters not doing the best decision making, where they're supposed to be these very smart scientist characters, and then they end up doing some stupid things because we gotta have the slasher element come into play. So let's split up. Let's not put the goggles on when we should. The bad guy's down, double tap his ass. Shove that damn crowbar, whatever, up his keister. So there's smarter ways to incorporate that. But on the flip side, in a weird way, I kind of do like that it turns to a slasher film because, I do like slasher movies. But what's the one thing I say with slasher movies? I want them to have characters I like and have somewhat of a story I care about leading up to the slashing. And this had that. So, despite the fact some characters do some dumb things, I still quite highly enjoy this movie. It's a fun one. It's an entertaining one. And I do like it more than the Invisible Man 2020 film, although I do like that film as well, but I guess I'm one of the few. And it's still my favorite Invisible Man story. Yeah, I think it's an underrated film. I don't think Paul Verhoeven should be ashamed of it. I do feel like it's... like I said, the last thing I must say, I disagree with them saying that anybody could have done this film. No, they would not have gone gun-ho with it. But Paul, he's a guy that went gun-ho by hook or by crook. Sometimes it failed like Showgirls. A lot of times succeeded like his sci-fi deviations. And I wish Paul would come back again with a movie. But who knows? I mean, if this is his last American film, in my opinion, he ended on top. Maybe not to him. Paul says it made money, so I guess it made enough to be satisfactory with the higher-ups, but I thought it was a damn fun piece of entertainment. So, I still enjoy this film. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.